I feel like we've said this before, and I don't know if we're running in circles, but like, it really feels like you have a team of amazing crackerjack writers doing a really good story in one room, and a bunch of level designers making a really great action game in another room, and someone told them to slam them together.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was very accurate.
Like, I agree with the criticism that, like, this is not the, like, this is suboptimal as a way of telling all this exposition, but, like, I'm trying to picture what would work better, because I think it's important that, like, you don't get to see this. Like, we're not just doing flashback cutscenes to all this happening. Because it serves as, like, a way to distance Aloy from the past, and, like, this is all something that happened way in the past. It's important, but, you know, nobody remembers it.
It's simple. You write 10% as much.
Yeah.
You do not need all of this to tell this story, and in fact, it's not useful for telling this story.
And maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why I feel torn between wanting to hear that story and the story of Aloy, because, like, gameplay-wise, it's all about Aloy's story, but the writers were obsessed with filling in all the backstory, and that's why I'm like, why aren't we watching the backstory happen as the narrative?
Yeah, some of, like these side characters maybe didn't need to have as big a role as they ended up having, where, like, we kind of follow these people through their journey through this. If they'd just done one person here, we were following one scientist's journey through this, like, learning about the fact that the Pharaoh Plague is actually going to extinguish all life on the planet, and then, like, you know, what Horizon Zero, or what the Zero Dawn project is. And going through there to the building of the project, as we'll get further into here.
No, I
instead
agree.
of, like,
I think that makes a lot of sense.
I think it's like 6 or 7.
It's just overwritten.
Yeah, a major problem is that these characters are not important. We don't need to know these characters. We don't need to know who they are or what they are.
Brad Abdak is the most important character in this game, Rutsgar.
Right.
And they're not being used to shape the environment or anything. Like, it's not like a Tacoma
Pretty
scenario.
sure this guy actually decides to commit suicide instead of help with the project, so...
Like, this isn't Spoon River Anthology, where there's all of these central characters that kind of form, like, a part of... Like, that kind of constitute the narrative, like, constitute the experience of Spoon River Anthology. It's not even Soma, where, like, knowing what happens to all this diverse cast of characters is what tells the crucial meat of the storyline. Like, these people are long dead. While they influenced our current daily life, they're not part of it. Like, we don't really care what happened to them. There's no reason, even for Aloy, to really care who these people were or what they did. And in a way, it's much more poignant if, like, you don't get a sense of who they are, if all that's completely lost.
Or if you wanted, if you wanted that relationship, and if you wanted to also implement Josh's idea, make it all about following Sobek, your weird clone mom thing that you don't know what she is yet. Like,
here comes the reveal of what Zero Dawn actually is.
The plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which
oh
on a
boy,
dead planet,
I completely called that this was what it was going to be.
This is the aim, the hope of Project Zero Dawn. To create a
So this was like the big twist that the game actually does, which is that you start the game and you think it's a Fallout-style post-apocalypse. Oh, people retreated to vaults or whatever. Some calamity happened and it destroyed civilization, but, you know, it didn't, like, completely wreck everything and people are rebuilding. And then it takes that and goes, oh, actually, no, the entire planet died.
We call it Gaia.
I actually always assumed that's what happened. That's what it was.
But that's just the core of the system.
I don't know.
Maybe
I wasn't. Because that's just what made sense to me, is like regrowing.
Think of them as
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I thought.
This,
I mean, it explains pretty well why there are robots running around everywhere. Like, it does a great justification of that.
I mean, this didn't need to be a shocking twist. This is pretty resonant with the game's feel, like with what the game is and what its story is on a fundamental level. This is the correct decision for like what to have here, but it's like, yeah, it's definitely not like challenging reveal. This is pretty much exactly what I thought was going to happen.
I don't feel like it necessarily like was set up so that it needed to be shocking either. Like, this just kind of unfolds naturally, right? It's not a Shyamalan like 11th hour twist or anything. This is not the twist of KOTOR. This is not You Are Revan in KOTOR, right? Like,
but even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris.
That's one of the best twists I've ever seen.
The transmission ways to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good.
So that's what the Spire is outside Meridian.
Any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas.
But this is really like the most important cutscene in the game. This is just like, hey, okay, here is what, like, all the mystery that was going on of like, what the fuck is all this? This is what it is. And so in my opinion, it's a really good moment. And I like the way the story unfolds, aside from the overwriting, I'd say. And
It'd actually be really funny, it kind of a dark way, if we discovered that, like, all these robots, their sole purpose is to reconstruct the environment. And because we wanted their parts so that we could make stuff, we've been destroying them this entire time.
And stop at nothing to achieve it.
And just, like, completely fucking with the timetable. Like, every time we go out hunting, we push the deadline back, like, a week on how long this is gonna take.
Join me and help make that future real.
I feel like pre-industrial society hunting, like doing hunting, not like domesticated farming, but hunting of robots would not be like a significant thing to impede progress for them.
Over the course of the entire world, probably not, given the apparent low population density.
Elizabeth did this. For life. For us. But why Hades, then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the Archive of Knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
So you've got this text log, which is basically like, you've got, once you are in here, once you have been recruited and come through here, you can pick one of three options. Participate in the program, in which case you'll get to go to the habitat after it's finished, sealed habitat, the vault, basically, the one vault we're making, where you'll be able to live out the rest of your life. Get detained here, and then until the project is finished, in which case you can leave and get eaten by robots, or just when the facility is abandoned, then you leave and get eaten by robots, or commit suicide.
Boy, what a rich diversity of choices.
Yeah. But it does make sense, like, you can't just have these people leave and go tell people, like, hey, so, everything you're doing is fucked!
Again, there's just so much writing about the backstory here of these people, and I want to see their lives, because they invite me to, right? Like, they have all this detritus about random corporals and people committing suicide rather than going along with this plan because they find it unethical.
Given the opportunity to rebuild what I the damage that I I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves they weren't cut out for the BTR.
I guess this guy doesn't commit suicide, huh?
Better than rapid innovation. Better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine.
So we're running up against our time limit here in a couple minutes. So probably finish this out and get into the center, and then hope that the
I will work hard, twice as hard.
autosave puts us somewhere where I can load the game again, and we'll be fine because there are no save points in here.
That was a pretty real moment. There will definitely be a moment where some tech bro sitting behind a monitor, looking at a graph, pointing sharply downwards into the pits of anarchy and Armageddon, is going to just sort of slap his head and think to himself, God! And I totally loved a TV show that was exactly about an idiot like me causing exactly this apocalypse. I harassed people on the internet who didn't like this show.
No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East.
Oh no, they're suggesting that Jeff Goldblum may be wrong.
That's our reward?
They can't make those claims.
Full of terminal patients waiting out the clock? You grow old together with your loved ones in safety. I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family? I'm afraid not.
God, imagine the politics of that, though. Like, we have a limited amount of food, and also everyone's gonna have to be sterilized because you can't have kids in the wait till you're dying vault. And by the way, one of you is gonna be the last man alive in the hangout vault.
Well, at least I get Twinkies. How many Twinkies can I have per day? 1 Twinkie per day. What if there was like 5 less people in the vault? I guess you could have like a Twinkie and a half a day? I'll be right back.
I just want it over. I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
God, that's just too real, and it's just too grounded.
Is he to make sure I behave this time?
Security.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely team post-apocalyptic vault.
I'll tell you. Surprised.
You gotta fucking crunch like a game developer for a year and a half to get the project finished, but after that you get to live in a vault for the next 60 years.
Shit, I'm looking at working for the next 60 years in a room, mostly at a computer, toiling over something of questionable utility. And then I get to sit around doing nothing for the rest of my natural life, with no offspring. So hey, it's a pretty good deal, actually.
I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What did you... You don't... Get your hands off me!
Somebody didn't read the pamphlet.
I just hate it when somebody doesn't go to post-apocalyptic orientation.
I know.
Thanks, Silence.
Suddenly we're
I'll be
playing a
sure
video
to
game
keep that
again.
in mind.
Oh, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to call my loved ones. Should have thought of that before you entered the black site.
Are these guys gonna move at all?
So who exactly is paying the Karja to just... not Karja, but who are these guys even? Cultists?
These are the Shadow Karja.
Why are they here?
Because opening up the door caused a bunch of air to blow through the arena, so they all realized that shit's going down. Alright.
See,
We gotta just kill
again,
one of these guys.
This goes back to my weird problem with the game's emphasis, where, like, we just got a bunch of backstories on various people that decided to kill themselves rather than engage in the thing, or felt guilt about their responsibility for it. But like, for a bunch of
The
dead
other
people
guys
who've been
died.
dead- Oh. For a bunch of dead people from 1,000 years ago, we got a bunch of reasons why they were here in this place. And then we round a corner, and there's a bunch of people in the here and now that we have to kill, and there's no reason, really, they should be in this place.
Mockingbird back in the day.
Yeah. This is maybe the most egregious bit of like, what the fuck? Why did that stop? Why does it stop? Why do
That's
these
all you
things
need
keep
to
interrupting
know.
themselves?
Is that those FBI black hats, he enjoyed schooling them.
Mockingbird back in the day. I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor?
Stocking up?
It just stopped again.
Because Aloy said stocking up.
Yep.
Because you're picking stuff
I
up.
forget, how did Travis feel about those FBI black hats?
Now, those lame
Oh, he
FBI
said those
black
lame
hats
FBI black
back
hats at
in the
Monkey. What
day.
the fuck am I swimming in? What? There's no.
Enjoyed schooling them.
This is 2 inches deep.
Maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute.
Just had to flail a little bit.
On a checklist
So
after all.
remind everyone you're still there.
It's not bath time, Aloy.
Ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid.
I'm off-brand McCree.
Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature.
Another one of
Now,
those.
if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural it'd be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek.
Maybe
Bad
there's a
habit.
storage area nearby.
She chewed one of her nails, too, just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her quota slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment.
This guy sounds like a serial killer.
He kind of is,
Probably is.
a giant shitbag.
18 months hard labor.
It's like pressing triangle cancels it, but triangle is my interact key with everything.
That was the last
All
one.
right, we got
right?
most of that.
I feel like
Yeah.
that was definitely somebody's Joker audition tape that was like thrown out and discarded, and they're like, we can use this for something else.
Things in reverse. I don't get paid
And
to
and that's what I said to the counselor. Cute little thing. Listen, we live in a society.
So I don't remember if just that one back there is reversed and this one is fine, or both of them are reversed. So we'll try not reversed first. So what was it? Left, up, left, down, right.
Done. I should check.
Yep,
the door.
okay, so that one's good. Let's go grab this audio log too.
So we could listen to him and be all like, I'm your Robo Huckleberry.
Different person.
Really don't like Travis Tate.
It is art in a way.
Travis had taped down.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah, the guy from that
Why was
game.
I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm?
Oh,
My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Soubet? Christina Soubet?
Yes. I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now. And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair, not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art. Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This
So did they do anything with this? Does art ever show up in the universe?
it's part of the
before times?
Apollo mod,
Got too much already.
along with history and a bunch of other stuff.
I feel like that one didn't come through quite right.
Well, that is one of the remaining mysteries, is why didn't we get the remaining... let me out. Why nobody seems to know anything about this when it seems like they would have said something.
Now let's get that door open.
Okay, so this one should be reversed, right? Said everything was reversed. That's what the audio log said. So we're going to do down, right,
down.
up, left, down. Is that correct? Down, right, up. Okay, well, maybe it is fine, and what they were saying... I seem to remember, like, going through this process and going, why did they say everything was reversed if everything is in fact not reversed and that is not part of the puzzle? And the actual puzzle is go and get this item to stick on it.
Because we recorded those things before we playtested the level and people got stuck here.
That's not it either. Oh, right, it's upside down. So if you can see the Pharaoh... Okay, so it is down, left, up, right, down.
That did it.
There we go.
Door should have power.
Now to see what
All right, so that is we have resolved the puzzles here, and next time we're gonna walk through that door, and there's definitely not gonna be a bunch of people going down from zip lines from the roof to give us a fight that is totally unnecessary in this exposition dungeon. That will not happen. I'm gonna pick up this fire striker, and I'm gonna drop it down the hole. And that didn't... Okay. Bye,
Why
everybody.
did it splash?
Don't ask questions. Do not. I just took a swim in 3 inches of water over here. I don't ask questions about water in this game, Chris. You don't want to know.